Hello everyone and welcome to another video at my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm making a card for a Simon Says Stamp blog challenge, and it was all about texture. So I decided to get out this wood grained stencil that I had that came in a recollection set. I mentioned before in a previous video that the stencils in this set are really thin and flimsy and kind of hard to work with, but it was the only wood grain stencil that I had, and so I just gave it a go again. And here you see me mixing up texture paste with some Distress inks. Gathered twigs and walnut stain is what I use to mix it up, and it really takes a lot more ink than you think to color that texture paste, so put a lot out when you're doing this, and or else you just have to go back for more. Anyway, so got that all spread on, and I just held it down with like some masking tape. But you can see in a couple of spots where it went underneath the stencil, and I really think that's because the stencil is, thin and flimsy. But it all worked out. So I decided to go over the top of it with the walnut stain Distress ink, just to give it more wood color, since I did it on white. And I really liked the little blotchiness that I accidentally did, and so then I started doing more of it, because I thought it just gave it some more texture to the wood grain. And so then I got out, I have a stitch square set of dies and a wonky rectangle. And since I did such a big piece, I decided to utilize as much of it as I could. And the small rectangle that I cut out with the wonky stitch, I'm just going to save that for another project. I'm going to use the big square on this one. So this is a stamp that I have from Stampendous. It's called Cowgirl Boots, and I just thought that would go really cute with the wood grain. And I did stamp it a couple of times just in case I messed up, and there's a close-up of the stamp. So for the boots, I'm going with a set of colors that is used to create a aged copper look, and I just thought that would be really cool on these boots to have it a real distressed, old weathered pair of looking boots. And so first I just went in with the lightest color, which was E97, and just to kind of map out where I was going to put my shadows, and then I just start building up the color from there. So next I went to E08 and then to E09, just building up the color in the shadows. And then the darkest color that I'm using is E47, which I did also decide to put that on as the sole and the heel of the boot. And then I kind of just worked my way back down. And you'll see I've got two other colors there, a YG91 and a YG93. And I'm going to add these in to give it that aged kind of coppery look. And I forgot the heel there, so I'm going to go back and do the heel. Now, I forgot to record the rest of the coloring on this, so I'll just let you know what I used for the straps in the boots. I used YG 95, 97, 99, and I just used more of those greens to color the skirt, and then the flesh tones were E51, E00, E11, and E04. So now I'm just playing with positioning on that. And then I got some pattern paper out of my stash. It had a pretty green in it, and it had a burgundy in it, so I got a dark burgundy to back it with. And this is a larger card. This is a 7x5 card, landscape card. So it's a little bit larger. That square is 4 1/4 square. And here you just see me, I'm just cutting out a piece of fun foam and backing that wood grain panel with that, and then just using my ATG to put some adhesive on the back of that. and get that adhered down. And then I've got this green ribbon with a dot pattern on it. I just thought that would look cute too. So putting it on there, just using some Scotch tape on the back. And then I'm taking my Bow Easy to make a bow, and did a double loop bow. So here I'm just fiddling with it, just pulling it tight. So you want to pull it nice and tight while it's still on the Bow Easy. And now I'm going to get some glue dots, and this is a large size glue dot, and I want to just put a glue dot underneath there and kind of pinch the ribbon together so it looks like that the bow is tied on there instead of just sitting on top of it, which this was kind of a large bow and you couldn't really tell, but on smaller bows you can really tell. So now I'm just putting a glue dot underneath the tails of my bow, and so they'll stay in place, and then cutting them off at an angle. And there's my bow on there. And so then I used a hello die from Lawn Fawn and cut the word hello out 3 times from the same dark burgundy colored cardstock as that last layering panel on there. And then I'm just using some Ranger Multimedia Matte and my tweezers, and I'm going to glue all these together just to give it some thickness and some dimension. And I just set my acrylic block on there just to have a weight on there to hold it down to let the glue really set. It doesn't take long for this multimedia mat. Okay, and now I was trying to decide how to pop up the placement of the boots in the sentiment strip. And then I decided that I needed to pop up the boots, and so I just got a piece of foam out and just traced around the boots, and then I'm going to just cut that out. And now I've got the perfect shaped foam piece to go on the back of my boots. And I just used some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, so I'd have a little wiggle room to make sure I got it right in the right position, or wiggle time versus room. All right, so now I've got that all covered. I'm just going to stick that down. Decided I want that in the corner. And then I decided I was going to cut a fishtail in that piece of craft. And I couldn't decide if I wanted it right over the top of the skirt or a little bit above, right in the middle. So I just went with a little bit above. And I'm just adding some more of that fun foam to the back of this. I'm going to pop it up as well. And that one piece of fun foam was a little long, so it just didn't go all the way to the end with the quick dry adhesive. And I just set my block on that for a couple of seconds, let that adhere down while I put some more multimedia matte on the back of the hello. And I'm just kind of going through the bottom and the center because some of the top hangs off, so I didn't put adhesive through all of it. And I just kind of centered that up in the middle of the wood grain square. Okay, and now here's my card base. And I want go ahead now and cut off that extra on that craft piece. And I'm just going to apply the adhesive to my card base because there's so much going on with my top that I just wanted to do it this way. And I didn't get my card base exactly square, so I had to trim just a little bit off, but that's okay. It still looked good. So that's my card for today. Thanks for watching, and you can go to my blog for more details and close-up pictures. Thank you.